Greetings, everyone. I have to confess, I never expected to be here today. I'm going to ask you all to picture in your mind a pure white canvas. Now paint it completely black. By July of 1983, that best represents how I felt about my life in complete darkness. Although my despair and emotional distress were just that bad, it is not in any way an excuse for the acts of violence for which I'm deeply ashamed, hold myself responsible for, and regret every day of my life for the last 36 years. I'm here today only because it was my father who asked me to surrender to the police rather than take my own life. And he later told me, "Phil, life is not over, it's just going to be different. Take what you know and have learned to help others." During the 15 months of counseling before my trial, my counselor got me to understand that suicide is not the answer to my problems, and that it would have been heartbreaking for those who love me for the rest of their lives. It was also artwork that helped pull me out of this most painful period of my life by starting to do drawings almost every day, which was very therapeutic. After sentencing and entering the prison system, I was asked if I wanted to put in for a certain facility and requested Attica. What? Attica? Are you nuts? And maybe some of you had the same sentiment when you received your invitation to this event. Well, for me, Attica was close to home, so that my parents, family, and friends could visit. And I had read an article in the Buffalo Evening News about a great art club they had here. Arriving at the Attica Correctional Facility, I learned that the art club had been disbanded a month prior. That was discouraging. However, I was placed in a commercial art class, which I didn't know they had here, and unfortunately, due to budget cuts, was discontinued in the mid-1990s. Derek, an inmate teacher's assistant, who became my mentor in this art class, asked what medium I'd like to go into. Pointing to a painting nearby, I said, "I want to do that," and was told it was a watercolor, the toughest of the painting mediums. That's exactly what I wanted. I wanted a challenge. No, I needed a challenge for something to live for. I was so excited to receive watercolor brushes, paints, paper, shown a few basic techniques, and given some sound advice to always get a good critique. And a good critique is not just what you hope to hear, but also, and especially, what you need to hear. Genuine constructive criticism has been responsible for improving my art ability, as well as my life in general, which is helpful in an effort to being a better artist and a better person. Derek asked if I'd like to donate my first watercolor to the 1986 Buffalo Philharmonic fundraiser. I didn't think it was very good, but he assured me it had merit. I was pleased when it raised $100 for them, and it felt good to be able to make a positive contribution to society. This gave me another purpose for doing artwork, making it possible to express my contrition in a sincere gesture for the grief I feel for my victims and the harm I've caused. Other art projects have been used to help the Crime Victims Fund, Hope of Buffalo, the Khmer Neighborhood Watch Group, the National and International Special Olympics, and the law enforcement torch run events. One of the hardest adjustments being behind bars was I missed my best friends who could not visit. But it's been through my paintings that I've been given a fantastic way to remember the Siberian Huskies that I had. I'm the one in the middle with the hat and the brown beard mustache. And also the things I had done and the many places I had traveled to. Like my mom had said, places that many only experience through National Geographic magazines, like Antarctica, New Zealand, Tahiti, Hawaii, and Alaska. The most amazing event in my life happened when I did a painting to thank that person for all the counseling he gave me in jail. At a baptism reception for his granddaughter, the baby's godmother was walking around and stopped to admire a painting. He asked her if she liked it and mentioned that an inmate at Attica had done it for him. She replied that she knew someone at Attica too, and added that they had dated in 1972, but circumstances had separated them. Can you imagine her surprise when he told her that the painting she liked so much was done by the same person she knew in '72? The godmother was Kathy, a phenomenal woman and my first love. A few years later, we were reunited after a number of other unusual circumstances, and in August, we celebrated 25 years together as husband and wife. Thank you. In 1998, I started using another medium, acrylics, and was also introduced to the camouflage art of Bev Doolittle, who blends images into the background of her paintings. I did this same thing with my huge 13-foot by 28-foot forest mural, which is in the chapel mess hall. I can't help but grin when I see someone's arm shoot up, pointing to the mural after finding some of the 38 faces and animals that you have to hunt for. Many even find things that weren't even intentionally put in the mural. Leatherwork was another creative adventure that I got involved in, making and designing purses. I especially enjoyed combining artwork and leatherwork in doing wallets, Bible covers, and gunslings. After the attacks on September 11th, 2001, the Attica administration asked me to make a 3D memorial to commemorate the tragic events of that day. It was made with over 1,000 pieces of corrugated cardboard, spackling, burlap, and believe it or not, glue and toilet paper. Thank you. This was a very solemn project for me, and a personal one, because I had toured New York City when I was stationed on Governor's Island while in the U.S. Coast Guard. And it was my way to honor the first responders, which included many Coast Guard port security units. In 2013, I got others involved to use their talents by starting the kite artwork team for the Attica Active Veterans Group to help our homeless veterans. And also, its knitting squad, who crochet items for the children of disabled and needy veterans. One guy, named Ellis, expressed an interest in doing a kite, but said he had little art experience. I gave him some simple steps in painting, and with a little encouraging guidance along the way, he produced this awesome Iron Man kite. It was one of the favorites at the Come Fly a Kite for Homeless Veterans event. And let me tell you, his smile of accomplishment was priceless. Through artwork, I've been able to convey a message of what I've learned about crime and punishment. And quite a few paintings were done about repentance. My friend Murph recently pointed out to me that the word pain makes up the first 4 letters of painting, and it was from paint that I started painting. Interesting enough, the inspiration for art and cell window perspective came from a Bible verse. Sometimes it takes a painful experience to make us change our ways. And a quote by the philosopher George Santayana, "Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it." Everything seen in the painting is repeated again and again and again in the drawing held by the inmate, who resembles me before my update to a solar energy panel. Believe me, at my age, I need it. And besides, as you can see, I'd already gone green. My dad was right. Life has been different, and I never expected that incarceration would give me a second chance at a life worth living and happiness. It has certainly been a healing and redemptive experience, as well as an exciting and rewarding journey. My call to action is this: just as artwork and hobby crafts have done all this for me, these programs need to be promoted and funded so that they can do the same for others while they're incarcerated, which will benefit them, the prison environment, and when released, society. Thank you.